Jodi, how's it going?
Hi, Jen. How are you? I'm so
I'm
happy to be
doing,
here.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we can make this work. So how are
Yeah,
you
it's been a
doing?
bit. I'm doing well. Busy doing a lot of things. Launching a challenge. I was going to launch it in the spring, but I'm launching
Yeah.
it in the fall. It's called the Feel Better Naked Challenge.
Oh,
Five
nice.
days.
Yeah.
Because feeling better naked isn't just
Mm,
about taking your clothes off and looking at yourself in the mirror without clothes
mm,
on. It's really about being vulnerable to
mm,
taking risks and having the courage to do the things that you want to do that are going to make you happy, joyful, fulfilled, and not feel
mm.
boxed in by maybe what other people around you think you should be. So it's naked, literally and figuratively. And I just think it's time for women. I'm launching it
Mm.
just for
Mm.
women to feel better that way in all
Yeah,
those ways. So I'm excited and I'm putting that together now.
that's amazing. So is it for specific like age groups or like are you aiming towards like the older crowd or can like anybody at any age participate in this?
Older because I'm 61. You know what? It's funny because my demographic is really
Yeah.
35 to 44 for women.
Yeah.
And the women that I train at my studio
Mm.
are either postpartum or
Mm.
postmenopause. So
Mm.
it's for both. It's really for
Okay.
both. It's for any age because I think at any age, especially postpartum, getting your body back to what you think you want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
like in your 20s, a lot of 30 somethings think
Mm.
that they need to look like what they look like in their 20s, but what they don't realize is that
Mm.
they've aged beautifully.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they need to carry more weight because that's not healthy or carry more fat because that's not healthy. But
Mm-hmm.
their curves and their body changes. And what I want
Mm-hmm.
women to understand is that that's okay. Like embrace those changes, but still be fit and healthy. So the postpartum women who are still stressed out about, I don't look like I did before I had kids, and the postmenopausal women who were like caught off guard and thought, oh shit, what is going on with my body? So those are the
Right.
two. And then also, at the 40 somethings are the women who, for the most part, generally speaking, have had their children, are
Mm-hmm.
getting back to feeling like themselves again, and they're not prepared for what's ahead, which is perimenopause. It
Right.
just doesn't stop. And now I'm at, 61 years old, and I don't have to worry about that stuff. I just have to worry about death eventually. And I don't see
Right.
that coming for another 30 or 40 years. I
Yeah.
plan on living until I'm at least 100. So as long as I feel good, I don't have achy joints or things like that. But I want to help people, help the women feel
Mm.
better about themselves. So it's basically that age group, but it's not cut off to anything.
And I totally get that too. Like I've been through pregnancies, right? Like I've been through six of them now, five living. Um,
I
so,
didn't
and
know
I
you
get
had
that.
five children. You have
I have five
five?
kids. Yeah. My
I
oldest is
thought
18.
you
My
had
youngest is
three.
five. No, I have five. And I totally
Wow.
get, so that portion of it, but I was also coming from like high school, like eating disorder. Like I got rid of the physical part of the eating disorder, but I was battling the mental part of the eating disorder into my mid 20s while being pregnant, right? So I was like
Mm.
having panic attacks stepping on the scale. So I get it from different perspectives, right? But now I'm like, so I'm comfortable in my body. Would I like to be like a little thinner? Sure. But I like to be
Right.
like a little bit more toned? Sure. But like I've gotten rid of that. So yeah, now I'm into more like, okay, now I'm getting into like another part of my life. How do I want to show up and feel in that part of my life? Right.
Exactly. And that's what
Yeah.
happened to me too. I had my daughters at 28 and 32. I had two miscarriages in
Yeah.
between the two of them. And by the time after I gave birth to Alexis when I was 32, by the time I
Mm-hmm.
turned 33, I had always been working out, but I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
take it. I wanted, as they say now,
Mm-hmm.
level up.
Yeah.
Um, so I was leveling up. I wanted, before this was a catchphrase, I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be the best version of myself. This is
Mm-hmm.
in 1994 when there was no social media. People didn't talk like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that I wanted to be a better version of me
Mm-hmm.
physically. However, what we don't realize as we're going through that physical transformation, feeling strong,
Mm-hmm.
powerful, vibrant, and buoyant in our strong body is that the mental changes that occur, the incredible confidence, that promise we keep to ourselves to get to the gym every day, to eat healthy, to take care of ourselves so we can take care of our 5 kids. Right. So I felt, I think you told me at 38, I felt the absolute strongest I ever felt. And I think I did that subconsciously to feel great going into my 40s, because the 40s is a wonderful time. You know, women are generally speaking much more confident in who they are in their 40s because they've been married, they've had kids for the most part, or they've adopted children, or they have lots of dogs or animals or something. Right. But they've gone through, by the time you're in your 40s, you've had quite a few life experiences to give you the confidence that you know that you understand your own abilities.
Yeah. And I love that you touched on working out making you feel strong, because like I got my chin up before Christmas, right? And then I got a wrist injury. But just like, so that like I defaulted back to not being able to do one because of the wrist injury. But just getting that chin up was like such a mental like power mode, right?
I saw you. You were great. You were wonderful. I was really proud of you.
So I'm finally getting that back. And it's just that powerful moment, right? Because women always get told, well, women don't have upper body strength, or like it takes us so much more to get upper body strength, right? So to be able to do that, right?
That's so false. I want to just say something about
that. I know it's false, but that's what you get told, right?
Yeah, it's so false. There's so many fallacies out there about that women believe that if they lift heavy, they're going to have big muscles. It really depends on what you're eating, when you started working out, and the way your muscles grow. You know, I have a pretty big bicep. But I've been working on this bicep for 40 years. So the thing that, you know, you're not going to get big muscles because you don't have as much testosterone as a man. But I will tell you that the prime building time, and this is not to look like a muscular man. This is just to be a fit, strong woman, because the more muscle we have on our body, the less body fat we have, and the healthier our body mass index is. And that the weight doesn't necessarily, like, if you are a very fit person with 20% muscle on you, 20% body fat on you, you're not going to look skinny. Okay. So the muscle weighs more than fat. So the scale might go up, but the most important thing for your heart and your health is to see that body fat go down and the body mass index be 25 or lower. But women need to lift heavy, be careful as you get older. But you're never going to gain big muscles, I tell women, unless you are taking steroids.
Right. No, and I totally understand that. It's just that people like they put all this crap in your head, like, oh, it's going to take you so much longer because you don't have testosterone, or, oh, women can't get upper body strength like that. Or like, you know, like all these things, right? And you're like, just like, sometimes you just want to go like, stop talking.
Quiet the noise. Quiet the noise. Stick to the plan.
Just being able to get that. And like at this point in my life, I'm not, so like, if you were to talk to teenage me having an eating disorder, I'd be like, I need to be the thinnest possible, right? I need to be that's my goal. I need to be thin. And like 38-year-old me is like, I want to be the fittest person I can be right now. Right.
Good,
so that's the mindset shift that I don't know if it came with age or knowledge or just self-love, but that's like the shift I am right now, where now I'm working out to be the fittest possible, not as thin as possible.
Absolutely. And that's going to carry you on through ever and ever and ever. And the muscle you build right now, especially between the ages, it's like having children between the ages of 25 and 35, your eggs are the most fertile. And those are prime building muscle times. That's not to say you're building muscle before 25 or after 35, but that window of opportunity, 25 to 35, go get it. You know, it's, and that muscle you will have forever. Nobody can take that away from you.
And I feel like too, like so sometimes we get put into like the wrong exercise program. And then I feel like that's when people like exit and then they don't build that muscle, right? Because, you know, like it's A, you're forming a new habit, but B, then I think people don't enjoy it because they get put into like the wrong thing. Like for the longest time, I kept getting put into programs where I wasn't fixing this wrist injury, right? And then I started trying something new and we're focusing on like wrist strengthening exercises for like the first 3 moves, right? And now I can get my chin up back. So like, I feel like that's the difference when you find like the right coach and you find like the right program for you, it becomes easier to have that mentality of, okay, I'm going to be the fittest possible. I'm going to live my best life. I feel like when you get put into the wrong program or you get fed like the wrong information, then it's like, it's not fun. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, it's draining, right? It's hurting me. So
Yeah, that's the beauty of having, a personal trainer, somebody who's really holding you accountable and making sure that you're safe. I have group fitness classes at my studio, but what I really love is one-on-one training because I can really focus on that client and I'm giving her or him exactly what they need because one size does not fit all. And the thing about group classes is, unless you have an amazing group instructor like me, they're not going to adjust your form. I'll say, hey, Mary, is your knee tracking over your toe? You're not going to get instructors saying things like that. I mean, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but that's the hard thing about group fitness is that you get thrown into a class. You want to do everything that everybody else is doing. You see the instructor like lifting heavy, doing whatever he or she's doing, and you think you need to be that way. And it's wrong. So I would tell anybody who's listening, who's starting a new fitness program, get with a personal trainer, spend the money. It is so worth it. But find somebody who's got the right credentials. I'm NASM certified. Get somebody who's NASM certified. Get some CSCS. Get somebody who's got really good credentials, not a credential, not a certification you could get over the weekend.
Yeah. And I feel like you want to find somebody who's also like, as we get older, focused on not just muscle building, but also mobility, right?
Functional strength.
Right. I feel like people leave out like the whole like mobility and like flexibility thing half the time. They're like, oh, I'm going to focus on building muscles, and like they neglect like okay, so you have this injury here. Like let's fix that injury so that you get back into mobility, right? And I feel like that gets neglected. Like let's just build muscle, right?
No, and that's what separates me from all of the other younger trainers or trainers my age, which is, it's a very, very crowded space and there are a lot of people that don't know what they're doing and they put out the wrong information and everybody's talking about the same crap. And really, it just comes down to a functional strength. We don't want, unless you are training for a show and you're a bodybuilder, that's a different story. But it's, can you pick up the groceries and put them in your car, then walk up the stairs and hold a kid on your back? Can you do all those things? Can you bend and lift without using your lower back? That's core strength. I mean, that is really what I focus on. I have so many women come into the studio and go, can we just do upper body today? I'm like, no, everything is integrative. No. We just don't, because they don't want to sweat. They don't want to mess up their makeup, whatever it is. But it's the big muscles you've got to focus on too. The chest, the back, the legs, the glutes, those are important. But that core strength is going to give you that functional strength. And it's going to help you. So when you age, when you get older, and it even starts happening at your age, Jen, where you fall and you can't get back up. Do you remember that commercial from a million years ago? You were probably not even born yet, but it's,
I remember
I'm falling and I can't get up.
Yeah.
People of my generation, we laughed at that because we were like 20 or something when those commercials came out, but it's so true. And that's really what we need to focus on.
I had that happen to me last year. Okay. So the pool, I was trying to empty it. It's one of those like an inflatable pool. So it's not like a smaller one. It's a bigger one. So I was like trying to lift it instead, because I didn't know how to plug to pull. And I was trying to lift it, like dump the water out. And then I wrenched my back so bad that I couldn't stand up. I couldn't stand up straight.
That's heavy. All that water, that is heavy.
Yeah. So I was walking bent over and then trying to get myself onto the couch. It's pretty bad.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. I don't do those things.
I can relate to the commercial, but I found it's got a plug that you can pull now.
Oh, really? Oh, good. Yeah. The other week I was away and I had my 2 carry-ons and I loaded one of them up. So it went over my shoulder. The other one, I forgot the shoulder strap. Okay. So basically I carried both of them by my side, like a farmer's walk.
Yeah.
for about 20 minutes. And I thought, shit, this is why I work out, because nobody else would be able to do this. I'm walking through
Right.
JFK in New York and I'm holding it like this. And I just said, you know,
Yeah.
these are the reasons we work out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we have to hold things. Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Or even like a dead weight kid, right? Nobody thinks of that until they have to lift a dead weight kid that doesn't want to do something.
Oh yeah, I remember those days. Yep, kicking and screaming, right?
Well, it's worse when they don't kick and scream. It's worse when they just go like dead weight and they won't like.
Oh, they do the stiff body,
like, okay.
Oh my God. I'm glad those days are over for me.
So tell me more about this challenge. What's going to be involved?
Oh, well, it's going to start out with talking about how important moving your body is, movement.
Okay.
And, you know, as I train women and men, I'm doing this for 33 years. All the magic happens in that room when I'm talking to them. So again, you know, before we were talking about mindset matters, everything in that training room or that one-on-one time that I have with my client is about shifting their mindset. They come in not believing that they could do these things, not believing they could gain weight, they could lose the weight, they could feel better in their body. So I'm going to be talking about movement, mindset. That's going to include journaling. That's going to include lots of questions for me too. I'm going to be bringing in some people that specialize in meditation, which is not my area of expertise, and I'm not going to pretend that it is.
Right.
And then if they wanted to actually learn how to do a workout, I would do that with them. But what I want them to understand that it's the mind that's going to get you into the workout. And then leaving is that feeling of accomplishment, because we never regret doing a workout. We regret not doing the workout. So it's understanding who you are. I want them to understand, why are you here? Why do you want to understand? Like, why do you want to feel better in your body? And I think it has to do with owning who you are, believing in who you are. And then what do you want to accomplish once you own who you are? And then how do you want to live the rest of your life? Fitness has to be a part of our life. It's like it's something that is a core part of how to live your life. The journaling, the meditation, even to the point I'm going to bring in somebody who will help them like figure out as we go through this journey, and it's weight loss, because I'm going to be talking about food and how important nutrition is, how important it is to get that lean protein in, how important it is if you want to be vegan or you want to just do plant-based. I'm going to be bringing somebody in to talk about plant-based foods. But what's important in transforming your body, can't do anything without the lean protein. Yeah. And then, you know, and that's really what the course is about, is owning who you are, understanding who you are, feeling strong and powerful in your body, and being vulnerable to share your thoughts in a journal. Because so many times, again, I've been asking people to journal for 1,000,000 years. Nobody wants to look at their thoughts. So I would start out with, let's write down what you're eating. Nobody even wants to write down what they're eating. They don't want to know.
Because you have to admit that you're eating bad things.
Exactly. So it's really a lot of movement and mindset. It really, really is. And since it's the first time I'm going to be offering something like this, because before it was look better naked. So I'll be offering them exercises. I have a meal plan. It used to be right here next to me. I have the Jodi Fit Jumpstart meal plan. So they'll all get that. There are meals to follow. There are shopping lists. There's also a 21-day journal in there, because I so believe in how important journaling is. And so it's 5 days. It's just 5 days. Come in, and then I'll be taking people on to the next level. And I don't know what that level is yet, but probably one-on-one training with me, because I think that's what most people want.
So this is like in person in your gym, correct?
No. I'm going to be offering this online.
Online? Okay. I just wanted to clarify that, just to make sure.
Yes. It's going to be offered online. So I'm putting together all the workouts right now at every level, with bands, with ankle weights, with no weight. Anything that can be done at home. I'm not going to go into a local gym and go in there and use the the machines because most people don't have the access.
Right.
And, a lot of people have learned how to work out on their own at home. So all the workouts are going to be done at home, or you could do when you're traveling or wherever. So I have a gazillion workouts that I have in my head. So I'm going to be putting them together. They'll go in a portal. They'll have access to it. The same thing with the food, the meal plans. And then I'll be, changing that up. But I've had so many people ask me on Instagram and TikTok, like, what is your secret? What do you do? What kind of workouts do you do? What do you eat? And it's just time for me to share all this information.
It's just time to do it. It's time to rip off the Band-Aid, Jodi.
It is. It's time to just do it. And so I'm very, very excited about it. Really, really excited. And
that's awesome. And it's going to be the fall, correct?
It's going to be the fall because I don't have time to put it together. I want it. Okay. Look, it's not about being perfect,
right?
But I do want to have it organized. I could throw something out there right now, but I want to be able to offer as many things as I can to as many people to get into it and do it, because it's only going to be offered one time. And after the summer, since how is everything in Canada? Are you guys all okay? It's all you're all in a boot, right?
We're all out and about. Yeah. We're out of lockdowns.
Okay.
As far as I know, we're not going back into any lockdowns. But
okay. So it doesn't look like that here either, but you guys were in lockdowns for the longest time. Yeah. But people are traveling now. And that's my point, is that so people are like free. They want to travel. They want to go out. And so my attitude is have a great summer.
Yeah.
The fall and the spring are the times that people really get excited and nervous about how they're going to show up at a pool or on the beach. And then everyone wants to pull it back for the fall. The kids go back to school. They're like, okay, I got to get my act together here. Right. Yeah. So the fall is always a good time to start a new plan. It's back to school. It's back to a better you. It's back to.
And it prevents your winter body.
Well, absolutely. If we can get them to stick to that plan, and then I'll probably have another plan for after the new year. Yeah, exactly. Because
they can't blame the COVID-19 anymore.
No, the summer bodies are built in the winter, as I tell everybody.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just joking, people.
You're so cute.
But that was going around. Everybody's like, yep, I put on the COVID-19.
Yeah, no, it's over and done with. But, food plays such an important part of the way we feel in our body, because the way we present ourselves to the world matters. The way we want to show up.
Even water consumption is so low, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a terrible water drinker. That is one of my detrimental. I haven't even opened this up yet today.
It's a worldwide problem.
It really, really is. And so it's very important that we know how to eat. We know how to hydrate. But as I said before, lean protein is key in transforming the way you want to change your body. So there are people that want to gain weight, lose weight. So I can help them with both. But it's 80% of the equation. 10% is your training, just 10%. And 10% is your genetic makeup.
Yeah.
So I'm never going to be 6 feet tall.
Right.
And I've taken what my parents have given me and I've done the best that I can with it. And you've got to keep your food on track, at least be 80% clean and healthy. If that's the life you want to live, if that's how you want to feel in your body.
Yeah. I love that you brought up the genetic portion too, because often that gets left out. Everybody's like, oh, it's like 80% diet, 20% workout, right? And everybody always forgets the fact that your genetic makeup plays a huge role in how your body's going to look and function.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, my husband is tall and thin, on a good day, I think he might weigh 168 and he's 6 feet tall. And he's got really long legs. And I'm more of he's an ectomorph. I'm more of a mesomorph. And if you cut me in half, I'm completely proportional. I could look at a dumbbell and I'll put on muscle. For him, he needs to lift at least 5 times a week in order to maintain the muscle mass. Yeah. And eat, I eat every 3 to 4 hours.
Mhm.
So that's the other thing, understanding that small meals every 3 to 4 hours. And as
Mhm.
far as the water consumption goes, it should be half of your body weight in ounces per
Mhm.
day,
Yeah.
unless you're running a marathon or doing something
Right.
extreme.
Yeah. And I get that. Like, so for people like that, say they've hit like mid 30s, right? And their
Mhm.
bodies changed a bit. How do you like determine what you are, like ectomorph, esomorph, right? Because like from, if you look at me as like a kid, teenager, like all through my 20s up until like my fifth pregnancy, I was like, I could not put on the weight for the life of me. Like I was like eating 2,500, 3,000 calories a day just to put on weight. And then I
Wow.
had back-to-back pregnancies and then I couldn't take the weight back off, right? So
Right.
like, how do you determine what your actual body type is?
You know what? I shouldn't even talk about that. It doesn't really matter. Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter. When a
Okay.
woman comes to me or a man comes
Mm.
to me and whatever
Yeah.
size they are,
Yeah.
all I say to them, and this is what I
Yeah.
say to everybody, I am going to take you and we're
Yeah.
going to just make you the best version of
Yeah.
you.
Hmm.
So I shouldn't even, I just refer to myself as mesomorph all the time.
Yeah.
But
But it doesn't
it
play a
doesn't
part
make a
in
difference.
actual like muscle building or anything.
It doesn't. I mean, I
Yeah.
already know how they're built. So I know if
Yeah.
somebody is really skinny and it's
Mm.
hard for them to keep. I have a woman
Mm.
I'm training right now who's like in her late
Mm.
60s. She's
Yeah.
super thin. She's never had any children.
Mm.
And she's strong AF. Like
Mm.
this woman is so freaking strong. But is she
Mm.
ever going to build on those muscles? No, because she hasn't been
Mm.
lifting her whole life. And that's just
Mm.
not her body type. So
Yeah.
when I was just talking a few minutes about the mindset, that's what the mindset's all about. She's
Mm.
not going to look like me. I'm not
Mm.
going to look like her. The guy
Mm.
at the local bar around here with the big belly who's been drinking beer for 40 years, he's
Right.
not going to look like my husband and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Mm.
People look at him and you're like, dude, how do you look that
Mm.
way?
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of reasons why he looked that way, but genetics does play a part. And we
Okay.
just have to own that. Like, what do your parents look like? If you
Yeah.
don't know who your parents are, just let's look at what you're eating and
Mm.
then let's determine what isn't the healthiest thing for you to eat. And I
Mm.
know how to pull it back and get you to eat what you need to eat in
Mm.
order to feel strong and buoyant in your body.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And
that's
that's
what
again
I
where the
feel,
personal training comes
strong and
into play.
light.
To be like, okay, let's
Right.
look at this. Like, let's look under the hood. Like,
Exactly. And that's where you have to become very naked and vulnerable with me
yeah,
because I don't take any bullshit. So I
yeah,
know when someone's like, oh, no, 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 let me tell you what I ate. I go, no, I don't
yeah,
want to hear it because I won't remember it. And
yeah,
secondly, you need to write it down and don't just write green beans and halibut. I want to know
yeah.
how much halibut you ate. But
Mm,
again, let me just say, Jen, that
mm,
if I know that somebody has struggled
mm,
with eating in the past, and this is
yeah.
when it's really important to share all this information. If I know that somebody has struggled with eating in their past, they
Mm,
binge, they purge, whatever the eating
mm,
disorder was, or any body dysmorphia they have,
mm,
if they don't know that they have body dysmorphia, I will pick up on it. If they've
mm,
had some type of unhealthy relationship with food, I will not have them journal for me because I
mm.
know that's painful until they feel safe with me.
Yeah, I
And
completely
so
understand that.
again, that's the
Yeah,
mindset. If you said
yeah.
to me, "Hey Jodi, I struggled in my teens and in my 20s,"
Mm,
I would say to you, let's just start moving. Because I
yeah.
know that's what you want to do. So I'm like,
Mm,
okay, let's get moving. Once I start building the confidence that you can
mm,
trust me and that you're like, wow, like I'm
mm,
moving my body, like I'm sweating, I feel good, like my muscles
mm.
hurt, but not too much. Like I
Yeah.
feel better. Then you're going to say to me, hey Jodi, you know,
Mm,
I want to lose a few pounds. What do I need to do? And then
yeah.
I'll ask you, do you feel
Mm,
comfortable writing down what you're eating? So we'll start
mm,
from there. And then we'll
yeah.
get a little bit tighter. So
Mm,
it's a journey. It really is. It really is a
yeah.
journal. But as a trainer
Mm,
with experience, life experiences, I
mm,
know this versus a lot of trainers that don't have the life experiences. And that's why,
yeah.
my daughter who's 29 says to me, I don't understand why people would go to a trainer
Mm,
who's much younger than them or the same age versus going to somebody like you who has all
mm,
these life experiences. And, again, I've been married, divorced, I've lost parents, I've had miscarriages. I know what
Yeah.
it's like, I understand life.
You've lived life and you've been through it too. Like, so you can relate to people. I feel like when you were saying like about the food too, a lot of that, people have scale anxiety. And I feel like if that's the case, people just need to put the freaking thing away. Right. Because that
food
was a
scale or a weight scale.
A weight scale. Like people are so focused on the weight scale number. And like, I love that like places like TikTok and stuff. I know I'm mentioning social media, but I love that like TikTok's actually got like people trying to normalize what different bodies look like at the same weight to make people understand it's really not about the scale anymore, because 155 pounds of somebody who's a lot of muscle versus 155 pounds of somebody who's maybe got like a little bit more fat, or somebody who's taller at 100, like it looks different, and it's really not about that anymore.
It isn't. That's really old school. Worrying about the weight. For some, it's the way they measure their progress. And so I offer a lot of different things. For somebody who doesn't want to get on the scale, I'm okay with it. But we need a starting point. Tony Robbins talks about this and says there always has to be a starting point. Otherwise, we can't measure progress.
Right.
So I do several things. You don't ever have to get on a scale. Measure it by the way your clothes feel. Take your measurements. You've got to face whatever it is that's scaring you in order to make progress, in order to grow, right? We know this. We know by taking risks, we grow. So it might be really scary to take that measuring thing. Why I can't think of measuring
tape.
And put it around your waist and go, oh shit. I didn't know my waist was that big. But do one thing, measure your waist, measure your butt, whatever it is. Take a picture of you in an outfit where you can see your body. Check your body fat percentage, check your BMI. Those are all the different ways you can measure your progress. Right now, none of my clients want to get on the scale. And I actually took it out of my studio.
I feel like the pictures are like a huge thing too, right? Because when I started my challenge, I took pictures at the beginning with the trainer that I was working with, and he asked me to take an update one. Then he sent me the side by sides, right? And I didn't even realize how much I had changed in 4 weeks, right? Like my face is like thinned out like crazy, and I didn't even realize that. So I feel like that's like a huge thing where like, oh, like I'm actually like doing something, right? Because sometimes when you're working out, you don't think you're doing something.
Exactly. And that's all that really, that's all that's important. So the scale is not important. And I mean, there's still a lot of people that do get on the scale. So, whatever works for you, but you don't need to get on the scale because we all carry the weight differently.
Yeah. I love that you bring that up too. So I just want to bring it up because like from somebody who's had scale anxiety, I feel like we put too much pressure on that number. So
we do. We do. And we shouldn't. It's we need to normalize the way we feel again, the way we feel in our body, the way we feel naked, the way we want to feel. It's not, and there's the compare game. And as soon as you start comparing yourself to another person or other people, we lose. We always lose when we compare. And I've been guilty of it. I'm sure you have too. And at some point we have to understand that this is who we are, and we have the ability to be the best version of ourselves, physically, mentally, spiritually. And again, going back, if you choose the right trainer, they can, I mean, having the right trainer is everything.
For sure. So speaking of the right trainer, Jodi, how can people get in touch with you and work with you if they want to?
The best place to reach out to me is on Instagram at Jodi Harrison Bauer. And they could also go to my website, jodifit.com. That's JODIFIT.com, and send me an email. But I'm on social media all the time. So the best way is like, hey, I heard you on Jen's show and love some tips or love to work with you. Yeah, I don't really give out free tips. I mean, what you see on my account is everything that I throw out there, because people don't value free. And taking care of your body, your mind and body is something really serious. And I don't take it lightly at all. It's a serious thing. And I want to help
people. And if
people.
they're interested in sorry, go ahead.
No. It's just something I take seriously. And if somebody wants to take the time to talk to me and doesn't want just a quick fix, I don't do quick fixes.
Yeah.
Now I might help my daughter, like, oh, mom, I've got a wedding to go to. What do I do to lose 5 pounds? Okay. That's easy. That's water weight. Boom, 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 boom. It's like getting ready for a fitness show. So yeah, been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. And if they are interested in your challenge, so they keep an eye out on your Instagram for that, or do you have a mailing list that they can sign up for to get notifications?
I don't have any of that set up yet. So just, follow me on Instagram or TikTok, because that's where I'll be posting. I'm really not that busy on Facebook. It's really TikTok and Instagram. And it will be on my website also. Yeah, there's going to be so much information coming out, and it will be a very, very affordable price, because I want a lot of people to get this information. And then if they want to take it to the next level one-on-one with me, then we'll talk about that.
Okay. And the one-on-ones, they can do those virtually as well? Okay.
Yes. Virtual training, virtual. And it's not just really going to be a workout. It's not going to be, hey, I'm going to work out with Jodi for 1 hour. I need to figure out exactly what they're looking for, because the workouts, again, that's 10% of the equation. At 80%, nobody wants to talk about the food, because it's the stuff that's really, really hard and it's tricky based on what we talked about. So I want it to be an overview of what I can offer, because that's what people have been asking me for. What can I learn from you? How can I get this information from you? So again, time to rip off the Band-Aid and share all my stuff.
That's so awesome, Jodi. I'm so glad we could connect. And thank you so much for sharing all this with us. And I'm sure that tons of people are going to be looking out for that challenge. I know I will be.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to leave people with before I let you go?
Fearlessly Authentic. It's my podcast. I've been doing it for almost 100 seasons. 100 episodes. Wow. Yeah. I think I have my 98th this Thursday. So
that's incredible.
I know it is absolutely incredible. So the show airs live every 30 on Voice America Talk Radio. So it's a live internet talk radio station. I'm on the empowerment station. And I talk to men and women about how they've overcome their fears and obstacles so they can live a fearlessly authentic life. And so every week I'm interviewing somebody. I might do a solo show, but it's either, and they have either products or services to help you live that fearlessly authentic life. And it's really, back to what we started with at the beginning of the show, owning who you are, showing up the way you want to live, living the life that you desire and deserve, but maybe being too scared to do it. So we talk about, I like to talk about sex a lot. So we talk about sex, we talk about relationships, we talk about money, marriage, divorce, hormones. We talk a lot about hormones because they control our body. Hormones are everything. So it's a place where, I just have super honest conversations where we educate, empower, entertain, and inspire you to live that fearlessly authentic life. So you can find it on Apple, any place you listen to podcasts. You can find Fearlessly Authentic.
That's awesome. So everybody make sure you go check out Fearlessly Authentic. Go follow Jodi on TikTok and Instagram. Check out our website and make sure to stay tuned for that challenge coming up in the fall. Jodi, again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jen. It was such a pleasure talking to you.
You too. Okay, bye.
Bye.